let's start with Donovan here.
Yes, sir.
I want to kind of have a roundtable discussion. If you would define what you believe to be a high-value man, and also define a high-value woman, if you would juxtapose those two things.
Absolutely. So a high-value man, a lot of people have this perception that a high-value man is a man with money and women. You can have money and women and still not be high-value. A high-value man is a man who brings value to other men, okay? If you can be of service and bring value to other men, if men respect you, if they follow you, if they believe in what you're talking about, and you improve people's lives, you are a high-value man. Anytime someone has a lot of money and a lot of women, that can be great, but just because you have money and women doesn't mean you're adding value. There are a lot of guys who have a lot of money and a lot of women, they're just shitheads. Let's just keep it real. But by the same token, there are guys with money and women who are also of service to men and or women. I think you've heard this before. A man never lost, he never lost, money chasing women, right? Or a man loses money chasing women, but if he chases money, he never loses women. Right. That's the way that goes. That's just the broad stroke of it. A high-value woman is quite simple. She's fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful.
All the F's: fit, feminine,
friendly, and faithful.
Those 4 F's right there.
Yes.
Faithful. Okay. Wow. So if she's fit, friendly, feminine, but unfaithful, what is she at that point?
She's a hoe.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta have all the F's?
Yes.
All of them.
All the F's.
All of them.
Okay. Heather, if you would go down the line here, what's your definition of a high-value man, and what do you think a high-value woman is?
I really agree with what Donovan said regarding a high-value man. I think it's someone who is respectable, respected by both men and women. And I think a high-value woman is someone who is easy to love, but also easy to lose. And what I mean by that is she's easy to love because she loves herself, she's fun to be around. And when I mean she loves herself, I don't mean she's full of herself. She's just someone who's genuinely happy with her life and is happy on her own. She doesn't need a man to be happy.
Oh boy.
And she's easy to lose because she has high standards. And if you don't meet those standards, then you don't need to be a part of her life. She sets the standard for herself.
She doesn't she wants a man, but she doesn't need a man.
Yes.
We're gonna circle back to that.
Easy to
MLD.
lose.
I was gonna ask the same thing. What do you mean easy to lose?
Like, what's the buffer on that?
She sets the standard for herself, and if you don't meet that standard, she's ready to walk away.
Are you aware that there are more high-value men than high-value women?
Sure.
Okay.
So, like, is it one strike, you're out?
No, I mean, I think you guys are really trying to take what I said and run with it
Calm
and make
down,
it very...
We're not lawyers. Calm down. We're just wanting to elaborate. We're just trying to elaborate.
Elaborate on what part exactly?
What is the margin of error that is allowed until you exit from the situation?
I mean, it's situational,
Because you said
of course.
easy to lose. Easy to lose means like she's gonna walk out.
Yeah, give an
quickly.
example. Deal breaker.
I mean, it's situational. So every woman's different. Every woman needs to set her own standard, and if you don't meet that standard, then the woman is going to walk away.
What's your standard?
It depends.
No, I mean, it depends on what day it is. I mean,
no,
you're only one person.
There's no definite answer to it. It's just that I want to be treated with respect. I want, someone to hold me to a certain standard. And if the vibe's just not there, it's just not there.
I think a lot of men are under the false impression that if a woman just looks good, and I'm sure you can understand this, if a woman looks good, she's wifey material. Nope. One of the biggest mistakes that men make, we've heard the word simp a lot, right? You're simping. People have many definitions of simping, but my definition of simping is giving an undeserving woman access to your time, your energy, attention, and resources. And so as a woman, if you want to be respected by a man, you 1,000% have to be respectable. Unfortunately, most women don't understand that.
Yeah, modern women, you're saying.
Modern women,
okay,
absolutely.
MLD, let's go down the list here. Definition, how you would interpret a high-value man versus a high-value woman, the definition.
A high-value man's pretty simple. Make money, make muscles, learn game, hold frame. That's it right there. If you're a guy, look, let's be honest, we're here on Belly Taming Money, right? As a man, money's very important. Yeah. I'm not telling you need to be super rich, but you need to have your finances in order. And then, I think this mic's a little low. And I think you also need to have a good respect of money. I think you could understand that. A lot of people don't have a good, respectful relationship with money. They disrespect it, and then they end up blowing it all. I mean, you've been around in the money scene for a while. I'm pretty sure you've seen people make millions and lose it all being fucking idiots, right? So you got to have your money right. Okay? When that bill comes, those beautiful blue eyes come out, and they're like, oh, I had such a great time tonight. You know, you got to pay
Fucking
the bill.
take all my money. Let's go. I just take it all.
You got to. Women look to you as a provider.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what is every man looking to be in a traditional sense? He's looking to be a father, right? What kind of father can you be if you can't provide and protect for your family?
For sure.
And money is super important about that, right?
Okay.
Make muscles is pretty simple. You just need to be not fat. All right. In America, everybody's so fat. Like 70% of people are either overweight or obese. It's fucking insane, right? That's like
You talking shit about Donovan? You just called him out right there.
No, I called myself out. I called
Yeah, that's what
myself
I'm
out,
saying.
man. Yeah.
totally.
But he's actually a
fat-shaming
Muslim.
him.
He's a pretty buff
high
dude.
value because of that?
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you are taking an active stance to maintain your health.
Yeah.
Because we are all biologically decaying organisms.
Yep.
And by adhering to a good calorie strategy and exercise strategy, it's just high value. It's like you care about yourself. It's the ultimate form of self-respect by taking care of your body, right? So that's what Make Muscles is. Learn game is very simple. Every guy wants women, right? So unless they're gay, they're gonna want women, right? I know Destiny's not here, but the bottom line is this: a lot of guys get tricked by women, bad women. I'm not saying all women are out there deceiving, but learning game is understanding the psychology of females. And so you can understand, okay, this girl is pump and dump, this girl is worth my time. And differentiating between the two, because a lot of guys, they wife up hoes, and guess what happens?
They
Right?
can take it to
We
the
see it
cleaners.
all the fucking time. Divorce
Take it to the
courts.
cleaners.
You know, you see these girls waiting outside the stadiums, the NBA, trying to fucking get up with these dudes. Those girls are hoes, and these dudes are putting babies and rings
Oh,
on these girls, right? And the last thing is hold frame. So many guys don't clearly have a sense of self. They don't have a sense of identity, and they don't have a sense of boundaries. And boundaries are worth nothing if you're not going to enforce those boundaries. And the only way you should be enforcing those boundaries is saying, these are my boundaries. If you do not abide by my rules, I will exit from this situation. I'm not saying to hold a woman down, beat her ass, or beat some dude's ass by, you're not fucking enforcing, you're not abiding by my boundaries. Not saying like that, because enforce does sound a little strong. But simply removing yourself from the situation. High value woman's very simple. She's modest, she's demure, she's not a hoe, right? She's not a liability.
There you
She
go.
cares about you, she loves you, she puts you as number one. A lot of American women have a problem with that, and that's why, like, the whole media here is just like, men ain't shit, men are garbage, you know.
Body positivity.
Body positivity, all this nonsense is just, that is absolutely detrimental towards men and women coming together. I watch this from afar because I live in Tokyo, and I watch what's happening in America. 70% divorce rate. It's fucking insane, mate. So a high-value woman is a woman that will protect the honor of her man and add value to him. It's like it says in, I think it's Proverbs 31, right? He who finds a good wife finds a good thing. Her value is more than rubies. So that's
You know, when you're quoting the Bible, everyone's just like, yeah, you got
Legit, bro.
unless you don't believe in God.
Hallelujah.
I don't know. All right, Fosh, beautiful girl. How do you perceive the definition of a high-value man and a high-value woman?
I believe a high value man is someone who is resourceful,
money.
can add value to a lot of people's life, is
again.
respectful, has a lot of, good things to say. Not necessarily good things, but like more this. Smart.
She keeps looking at Donovan when she's saying this.
I'm just trying to
She-
like go
what's
off of
she-
some of the
And then,
things
and
that
then
you
what
guys
about a
said.
high-value woman?
I'll talk to Miss Montana.
Yeah, she hates me.
A high value woman is someone who is respectful, beautiful, intelligent. She has something to say. It's not just all about like, what she can get, but she also has something to offer, intellectual, nurturing.
Nurturing, beautiful.
What else?
Can cook.
That's not really you don't really need to
Can
do that,
order,
but,
can
like,
order food?
Oh,
Yeah,
easily?
order food.
Oh,
You can
amazing.
be able to
Whoa,
You
do
see
wait a
how
minute.
Fosh was like, all those?
How are you
I
going to
feel
be a
like-
Can you
Fitness
cook those?
How
Fosh?
are you
No, no, no.
How are you
Can
feeling
you
about
cook?
it?
still be in fitness and order food. I feel like there's this
What
thing
about
like
seed oils?
That has nothing to do with fitness.
Okay. What about
cooking
You
for your
can
man?
still- You
Okay.
can still eat out and take care of yourself and be fit. So my thing is, I feel like everyone is locked into this, like they're talking about like modern women. But it's like, yeah, it is modern because we're living in today. It's not 1950, it's not 1980.
Oh, she's triggered.
So I'm not triggered. I'm telling you what today is. So, and then go back to what you said. You're saying, oh, a wife, are you married?
No.
Okay, and then you go back to saying like, oh, a wife and all of this thing, and then you just say the divorce rate is this.
In America.
In America, okay, but still, like you're here in America, so that's what we're talking about.
Ooh,
so
all
what
right,
I'm
here we
saying
go.
She is
like,
triggered.
I'm not triggered. I'm stating like what it is.
She's
So-
just speaking with emphasis. That's all she's doing right here. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I feel like there's this thing with modern women that people have this like connotation with. And the reality is that we're in a modern day world. So everything is not going to be like how it was in 1950 or when.
Nobody
there was
said we
just,
need to
like-
go back to 1950.
This is the funny-
I'm not saying that it is. I'm just speaking what Nafisa is saying right now, not what MLB is saying.
Well, you know, interesting thing, it's funny when people say, well, we're not in the 1950s. To her point, there is a faction of men in the manosphere that like to talk about, you know, women need to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. We need to go back to 1950. It ain't 1950. Just like you said, it's 2023. That being said, just because it's 2023 does not mean that our biological desires and our actions have changed. The same things that made men attractive back in the 1950s, it's the same thing today, and it's the same thing with women. So, no, we're not back in the 1950s, but I still think that women absolutely need to know how to cook. As far as
That's where he went with that.
Real talk, dude, real shit. If you're a woman
fine.
and you do not know how to cook, if you are a woman, what'd you say?
I said, no, that's fine. I'm talking to
She's
him. I
agreed.
said, that's
She agreeing
fine.
with you.
Oh,
I
okay.
agreed, yeah.
If you are a woman in this day and age and you do not know how to cook, there's no way you can be high value. I don't care how. There are a lot of beautiful women out there who are not high value at all.
That's
okay?
Let's
just get
human,
that right.
That's a human skill. Man or woman, you got to know how to cook. You know how to cook. You cooking
What do you
matzo balls over there?
I cook a bomblet.
What do you consider
Like a
knowing
bomb
how
ass
to
omelet. That's all I got. That's
I
all,
get that.
that's all I got.
Do you really? That's all you can cook?
Listen, you know what? This
poured a
might be
drink. He's a man,
controversial.
dude.
There's like 100 things that like I'd like my girl to do. It's actually like 3 things I want my girl to do.
There you go.
Cooking ain't in the top 3 for me, bro.
It is.
What are your top
I'm
three?
just
What do
asking
you want
if
her
you know
to
how to
do?
cook, Adam.
I know how to order like a motherfucker. That's how I. That's
That's
what
not
I
cooking.
do.
That's not cooking.
I know. I'm just, you
So
know,
you
we're
can't
not all
cook.
gonna agree on everything.
can't cook.
Let me get Will's. No, I'm not a chef. I don't want to be a chef. I'm not learning how to cook.
Yeah,
I
you're
want
a
to
man. You
make
shouldn't
more
have to know how
money,
to cook, yeah.
so I don't ever have to cook, and I
you
can
go.
just order more food. All good. No problem with that.
Hashtag DoorDash.
I don't even need my girl to learn how to cook. Just when the food arrives, grab the food, set it out on the table. Eat with me. You can clean up afterwards. I'll see you upstairs.
Modern day. Thank you.
Modern life. Will, go ahead. What is the definition of, in your opinion, a high-value man and a high-value woman?
I think it's a great question. I think it's interesting answers. It feels a little bit to me like all of these are coming from like a single person's perspective. Like in a
You
marriage.
said a single person's
single
perspective.
person's
Because he's
perspective.
married.
This is why we have a married man
Yeah.
here. Exactly. Go ahead.
So like, so when you've been married a long time, I don't want to hear my wife's nagging voice in the back of my mind.
Right.
So like that is related to value. You know, like if I'm constantly hearing, that's the opposite of support. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
I also think that especially we've got 2 kids. I've got a 9-year-old son. I've got a 6-year-old daughter. I think when 2 people are willing to come together and reach a common goal, it doesn't matter if the toilet needs cleaned. I'm willing to clean the toilet. She's willing to clean the toilet. Yeah. I'm willing to cook the food. She's willing to cook the food because there's 2 people towards a common goal. So like these are all great points, but to put it on like one specific thing, like they need to be doing this thing, I think all that goes out the window when it's a team sport.
I disagree.
You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. I think a man has roles, and I think a woman has roles, especially in as far as conventional masculinity versus conventional femininity. There are things that women bring to the table that men generally can't or don't, and vice versa.
So let's take this perspective.
Well, hold
What
on, I wasn't finished yet. There are certain things that women bring to the table, again, that men do not. So, yes, is it great for men to know how to cook? If something needs to be cooked, great. But in my household, I'm not cooking. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the leader. She's the follower. If something needs to get cooked, she's going to cook it. If the toilet needs to get cleaned, she's going to clean it. Yes, we are on the same team. But I'm a man and she's a woman, and we have different roles. I don't clean toilets. I don't vacuum the floor. I don't wash clothes. I make the money, and she does the rest.
But
That's the
so
way I do it.
are you saying that you want your girl cooking and cleaning toilets and cleaning the house? Is
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, okay, so
But
this is
she
the
also
problem.
does other things, though.
Hold
She
on,
does-
everybody.
Of course, but you know,
Okay,
minimum.
let me get back to what your opinion is a high value woman, and then I'm going to say something, and then we'll open it up. Go ahead. High
So
value
I
woman.
think back to that
stressed
point.
out
What about a
already?
single dad? Is he not a
angry?
high value
Stressed
man
out.
if he doesn't have a woman at the house to cook and he cooks for his son and he feeds his family? Is that not a high value man?
Well, I didn't say a man who doesn't know how to cook is not a high value man. That's a different situation. If there's a single dad and he has a son or a daughter, yes, he has to cook. But if there's a woman in the home, you better fucking believe she is
That's
going to
not
do,
okay.
hold on, you better believe she is going to do the domestic chores. And if she can't or won't, she's out the door. That's just the way it is.
I think, Will, you're saying you and your wife prioritize the children's well-being as number one and the household's well-being as number one. Is that what you're trying? That's what I was trying to.
Yeah. It's a. I think
Taking
the
care of the
context
kids.
of those things. I think you're not wrong. Not that it's my opinion whether you are right or wrong. I think it's the team sport. Like we are actively trying to raise these children.
The children.
Speaking of team sports, the quarterback doesn't also play linebacker, right? Football is not an Iron Man sport. The wide receiver, every once in a while you have position players, and I know my sports fans out here, Taysom Hill is kind of the Swiss Army knife, but he is the exception to the rule. By and large, 11 guys on the football field have one specific job, and if they don't do that job well, the team just doesn't win. It's not this. I think what a lot of people really need to understand is that this is why relationships are in the shit right now, because everybody thinks it's plug and play. People think things are interchangeable.
Yeah.
Now, I agree. If you're a single man and you know how to cook, I think that's great. But if you have a woman in your life, she needs to be adding feminine value. Again, if I'm the breadwinner, if I'm the leader, I'm not going to do feminine activities if I have a woman in the home. That's just the way it is.
See, but I think I think the cleanliness of theory is no match for the mess of reality. I think if we're talking about a divorce rate of 70%, there's more single people cooking for kids than we're talking about.
You're absolutely
So,
right. No,
I
hold
let
on,
you finish.
hold on. There's
Did
more
you just-
single. Well, hold on. There's more single
Jesus.
people. There's more single people cooking for kids, but there's no woman there's no woman or man in the home with single parents. So again, I understand what you're saying, but you're talking about single parent homes. I'm talking about relationships. If you're a single parent, yes, do all you have to do. If you're a single father, you're not, well, I'm not going to clean a toilet because I'm a man. No, you do what you have to do. But if you have a woman, wife, or girlfriend in the home, I'm not cleaning toilets because that's her job.
So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire Soscast, click right here.